Hello, my name's Stewart Wood and welcome to this video. In this adventure, we're going to take out the IRIX 150mm f2.8 Dragonfly macro lens. We're going to take this out now in the field in a real-world situation and see what this lens performs like. We've come to the same place where we filmed the first episode of Macro Adventures. Now again, I'm with my 650D. I have my Yongnuo twin macro flash. Because the lack of image stabilisation, we're on an overcast day, I want to freeze my subjects. So I'm going to be using the flash to freeze my subjects. So come with me on this macro adventure. Okay, so we've found this green shield bug that's on this leaf right here, and I'm going to photograph it now, but we may need to change our setup to get a decent picture. So I'm going to use my flash to begin with. I am at 1/200th of a second f16, which is nice and sharp for this lens, and ISO 100. So you can see that from that picture, we're getting a really horrible black background, and I don't like that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to change things up a little bit. I'm going to go to ISO 1600, and I'm going to expose for the background and then just use the flash as a fill or a shape light. Don't be afraid to grab the branch that your subject is on just to stabilise it so you can take a picture. So you always take more pictures than you need just in case you miss the focus on one or two of them, just to be sure that you got one at least in focus. So that's how we can eliminate the black background when using flash photography in macro photography. Another tip I can give you is always check the back of your screen to make sure that your subject is in focus. You need to zoom all the way in, because if you just check it on the full frame of the picture, you're not going to really see much. Always zoom all the way in on your focus point to make sure it's in focus. That way, if you have missed focus, we can always take another picture. Okay, so we found one. We found a jumping spider in the wild. It's just here on these metal railings. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to photograph him. Now, since we're on an overcast day, the sun is coming in and out at the moment, but we're not going to be able to get a blue, clear sky. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to expose the camera for the background, which I want to be green. So it's going to be this grass. Okay, so there's a picture of the background that we're going to use. Next, what I'm going to do is pick up a leaf. I'm then going to scoop the jumping spider onto this leaf, manipulate him around till we get a good shot, and we're going to take it. Now, for that to work, we're going to need to change to a continuous shooting. So I mean high speed continuous. Okay, so we have the jumper. Unfortunately, it doesn't want to go into the leaf quite yet, so I'm just going to wait. And because we've practiced on jumpers at home, we've practiced on Buster and on Fidget, we know what these guys are like. You will miss the focus a lot of the time with this method. However, sometimes you get that one image that just looks nice. That's how I photograph my jumping spiders. Normally I would put the leaf up to the blue sky, okay, but in this case, because it's overcast, you'll just get a grey background, so we use the grass instead. So I'm going to put this guy back now on here, and he can go off and find some prey and have his lunch. So here now at this water outflow at the lake that's at this nature reserve, and where there's water, there's insects, such as this fly that's just here. So I'm going to photograph this fly now. I've just turned my macro flash back on. I'm at -1 on the exposure compensation. However, I am keeping my ISO at 1600, seems to be working quite well, at 1/200 second and f16. So to focus, I'm just going to focus at 1:1 on my lens and just move my camera backwards and forwards, and once the eyes are in focus, I'm just going to take the picture. There you go. Nice little fly there. It's not a best picture, but it's something that's interesting. So we've just gotten through photographing a bunch of jumping spiders, the images you can see here now on the screen, including what looked like a spiderling, which I've never seen before in the wild, which is a nice surprise. And just look how cute he looks. So that's the jumping spiders done for today. I think we're going to move on now and see what other subjects we can find. So convenient that this lens' nickname is Dragonfly, and look what we've just found right here, a little dragonfly. Unfortunately, it's not on something like a leaf or plant that makes it more attractive, but we're going to take a picture of him anyway. So we're taking a picture of a rather large subject into the sun, so it's backlit by the sun, not the perfect conditions. But considering this is the closest I've ever been to a dragonfly, I'd say it's a plus and a win. Never photographed a dragonfly before in my life, and now all of a sudden there's one sitting on my finger, which is interesting. Wow, man, I've never been that close. Look at him. Oh, he's off again now. So as with all photography, you need to change your settings depending on the situation and the environment you're in. So don't be scared to play around the settings and find out what works best for you. So all the clouds have gone in the sky now, it's getting very hot. So we're going to retire to these trees behind us here and see what we can find in the shade in those woods. So come with me and we'll see what we can find. I've been taking some abstract pictures of leaves, but they're a bit boring and a bit dull. And that's because the flash is on the front of the camera. So here's a tip to get more interesting abstract pictures of leaves. What we can do is we can take our macro flash off, and since it's attached by wires, we can now backlight our leaf. So I'm going to hold it up there like that. I'm going to focus the camera again by moving back and forward and take a picture. You see there how we have a more interesting picture of a backlit leaf. So that's it from this macro adventure. I think the IRIX lens did a fantastic job. What did you think of the results? Did you like them? Did you not like them? Let me know in the comments below. So that's it. What did you think of the performance of this IRIX lens? So far, I am impressed with the IRIX 150mm macro lens. I am missing the image stabilisation just a little bit, so you do have to adjust your photographic style to compensate for the lack of image stabilisation. Now, because of the lack of image stabilisation on this lens, I had to push my ISO up to 1600, which produced grainy results. Now, this is subjective. Some people might like it. I do not. Anyway, what did you think of this video? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Let me know in the comments below. I want to thank you for getting to the end of this video, and as always, I'll see you on the next adventure. Now, because... See, that's why we do multiple takes. Freeze the action. That way I can keep my shutter speed at 1/200th of a second. And I forgot what I was going to say. I'm getting confused now. So we've got the jumping spider now. I've got a leaf. So what I'm going to do here is, first of all, let's keep an eye on the jumping spider. Where's he gone?
On the grass, I see.
Where?
Ran off somewhere there.
So I'm just going to wait. And hopefully he won't jump down onto the grass like he just did. So we are now at this outflow of the lake that's here in this So here's a tip if you want to get some real creative leaf. Yeah. So that's it from this macro adventure. All the images that you get.
See you on the next adventure.